The world's it's a cruel and miserable place. You know, you occupy yourself, you try not to be bored, and then you die. I was awake at 3 AM and I just fought in my head. How many chickens can I spawn in Counter-Strike before my game crashes? So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some software to track the amount of times I click a certain key, and using said key I'll use it to spawn chickens. I'll keep spawning chickens until the game crashes, and if there's a maximum amount of chickens that I can spawn, we will figure that out. So, let's venture where someone's probably ventured before. And this video will probably end up being pointless because some YouTuber bigger than me has already covered it. Wow, that's a great crosshair. Pew, 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 pew. Don't go spy. Well, there's not really much else to do now, so I guess I'll just start spawning chickens. So I'm just going to run around the entire map spawning chickens, endlessly, or until the game crashes. I have a life, by the way. So when I got to around about 1,000 chickens, I just stopped running around the map and stood in the same spot spawning chickens right where I was looking, because it was actually getting hard to move my mouse. The FPS was just abysmal. I couldn't even look and move around the map. It was too hard, so yeah, I just stood there. And after 11 minutes of spawning chickens, this happened. What was most interesting about this is that I'm familiar with this era. It actually happened about a year ago when I made that video about the MP5 coming out.
Single, I am browser. No free edicts.
So for that first test that happened there, I managed to get about 1,330 chickens spawned before the game crashed. It's a good amount of chickens, but who knows what factored into the game crashing. Could have been the map, could have been the settings I'm running, you know, my graphics card. While it's good, it's not, you know, top of the line. I decided, let's try different maps, let's try different settings, and let's see what results we get. So I ran the exact same test again. I used the same map, kept the settings the same, ran around the map spawning chickens. The only difference was I didn't stand in the same spot near the end when I got to around about 1,000 like I did last time. And because of that, I got to around about 1,750 chickens, which is a considerable increase. So I went through all my settings, lowered them down to as low as they could go, and I bumped the resolution down to 1280 by 720. I used the same map, Dust 2, and ran round. Note that I'm using an FPS counter at this point, and you can see it's getting to a low of 10, and it's not going any lower than that. But I can assure you I was getting lower than 10 FPS at this point, because that was a little mini discovery of its own. Weirdly enough, I got a lower amount of chickens spawned on these settings. I got 1,550. So it's very inconclusive at this point. I have no idea what's happening, but I'm going to try a different map, nuke, and see what happens. 1,520. That's how much I got before the game crashed again. This one was more unique, as in my FPS was higher before the game crashed. I definitely wasn't getting it as low as before, like in Dust 2, but I still crashed around 1,500, which seems to be a common number at this point. So I ran the same test on 4 different maps, and I used the same settings, all low, resolution at 1280 by 720, and this is the results I got. So I averaged all 6 tests out and I got an average of 1,570. Based on all these tests I've done, I think I've come to a conclusion that it's definitely an engine limitation. I think even on the most powerful computers that you can buy, you probably wouldn't be able to get much past 2,000, I imagine.
Again, boys, no!
Now I know that's an inconclusive conclusion, but that's what I came to. One real conclusion that I did come to during this test though is that I definitely shortened the lifespan of my graphics card by a good 2 years.